Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to Get Hit with the Truth. So today, doing the what's next on Luis Nery, the former two-division world champion who bounced back February 5th. He bounced back from a knockout loss to Brandon Figueroa, the first loss of his career last May, when Figueroa stopped him in the 7th round of that fight. And you know, that was a tough break for Luis Nery. But instead of you know, taking tune-up bouts to bounce back, he decided to come back against undefeated contender Carlos Castro. And I was very impressed with that, because Castro, you know, bigger guy, he's fought at 126, younger, and I thought, you know, hey, Nery's, he might have his hands full with this guy. But Nery, you know, proved that he really is, you know, he's only 27. Actually, I say younger guy, only because he's done more, but he's the same age as Carlos Castro. So, you know, Nery came in and scored a knockdown early on in the fight, and that ended up being pretty much the difference. It went to 10-round split decision, where that knockdown helped him secure a split decision victory as Luis Nery bounces back impressively, defeating the undefeated Carlos Castro. And this is a big win for Nery, because Nery was that number 6 in the WBC, and Carlos Castro was at number 2. So, and Daniel Roman is number 1. So Luis Nery, in my opinion, is likely moving to the number 2 spot. Daniel Roman's probably getting the next crack at the world title, most likely against Stephen Fulton, because he's number 1 contender in both the WBC and the WBO right now. But Luis Nery is on the fast track to possibly getting a title shot, another title shot. And he really earned this one, you know, he really did. He came in against a tough, undefeated, you know, rising contender, and he got a hard-fought split decision win, did more of the boxing in this fight. He's a southpaw. He was doing that against Brandon Figueroa. I mean, I wasn't like scoring the fight, but I think eyeball test, he was probably winning heading into that 7th round over Figueroa, and Figueroa just overwhelmed him with the sides and stuff, and that body shot was brutal. But you know, again, you know, Luis Nery, an impressive performance here. So now the big question is, what's next for Luis Nery following that win? And, you know, as I said, he's probably going to move up the WBC rankings, most likely. And we'll see. I mean, I believe Stephen Fulton's going to fight Daniel Roman next. That's my that's my honest opinion. I think because Roman is number 1 contender and 2 governing bodies for Fulton's title, 2 belts, I think he's probably going to get the next crack. Plus, it's PBC and PBC, easy fight to make. Well, Luis Nery is also with the PBC. I think if Fulton can't get an undisputed title fight late in the year against MJ Marajan Akhmadaliev, which it looks like Akhmadaliev is going to have more mandatories due, Stephen Fulton could just build his resume and take on a former champ like Luis Nery, you know. And Nery, I wouldn't count him out in this fight. I thought he was boxing very well against Brandon Figueroa. Stephen Fulton might be a better matchup for him, because, you know, Stephen Fulton's not a big puncher. He's not a huge puncher. So Luis Nery, I mean, he's got options heading into the second half of the year. And I think Stephen Fulton probably has a target on his back from Luis Nery, you know, because I think he wants to get back in there. A rematch with Brandon Figueroa, I don't think so. I don't think he has a chance at Akhmadaliev, because Akhmadaliev not only fights for a different promotion, but also he holds the other 2 belts, but also he has mandatories due in his next 2 fights. From what it looks like, it could be his next 3 fights. Daniel Roman would be an option if Roman does not land the showdown with Stephen Fulton next for the title. I could absolutely see Daniel Roman and Luis Nery colliding to become the WBC's mandatory number 1 contender. Azat Havanassian would be a high-risk fight. Any fights for Golden Boy, not likely. Ronnie Rios is fighting MJ Marajan Akhmadaliev next, most likely, and I don't think he's going to win that fight. He's also a different promotion, so not likely. Ionut Baluta, another high-risk fight for Luis Nery if he were to take it next, so I don't see that one. And then you got Angelo Leo. Interesting right here. Stephen Fulton defeated Angelo Leo to capture the world title. Angelo Leo got a close decision against Aaron Alameda in his last fight. Alameda lost to Luis Nery. So why not Nery and Alameda if Nery cannot land that fight. I mean, why not Nery and Angelo Leo in the second half of the year if he can't land that fight? So he does have options. You know, the PBC does have a good amount of opponents, but this was a big win right here. I think he needs to sit back, see what Stephen Fulton is doing next, and go from there, because he's right there. And the PBC, you know, that Stephen Fulton's the guy to go after now at 122. And I think Luis Nery needs to just bide his time and see what happens and go from there. And I think he's going to have options, whether Stephen Fulton's next or not. And depending on what Stephen Fulton does, Luis Nery will be able to move around that and make his own decisions. But that's it. That's the what's next on the former 2-division world champion Luis Nery, following a hard-fought but deserving win over undefeated contender Carlos Castro by a 10-round split decision on February 5th. I hope you guys enjoyed this. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.